Good evening today. I hope you're doing fine, and I will be so happy if you're doing well. Actually, today we're going to talk about dua, leaving the house. Dua, one of the type of supplication, as we explained yesterday. The meaning of dua, meaning in English is just a prayer. But in Arabic, usually it has more specific, like everything it has been identified. For example, prayer in English and prayer in Arabic, it has different meanings. Prayer for us, it means the action, which you see it people in the mosque. How do they do it? They bow, they put their head down, they stand up, and these actions. This is called salah in Arabic. It's the same when we call it in English prayer. In English, again, prayer is the same when you do prayer in your heart without doing any action. Like, for example, if somebody's sick, is on bed, and you keep saying, may God give me a good health. So that is, we call it dua or supplication. There is dua and supplication, and also that has a different meanings for us. But in short, um, because Arabic is very specific in everything, so everything has a meaning. So dua, meaning a kind of something, an action. We do it by tongue only, and we say it from the bottom of our heart. So this dua, when we leave the house, why do we do that? We do that because everybody needs a protection. And this has been taught from the God to the prophets, and from the prophets to us. And of course, the prophet will not hear it from the God directly. The only one who was able to hear the sound of the God, it was Moses, Prophet Moses, be peace upon him. So he was the only one who heard the voice of Allah directly with no any layer between him and Allah. But he didn't see him, but he heard his voice among all the prophets. Now, when Allah talks or says, Jibril, he takes the message, Gabriel, the messenger, to the prophets. This is as usually, this is what it happens. So he taught him this kind of supplication. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Of course, we're going to explain what is it, and we're going to give a types in different ways. He used to say it also as well. You can use any shape. It's not a must to use the same shape, but as long you do it from the bottom of your heart. So today we're going to talk about one of the wives of the Prophet, be peace upon him. She used to narrate or explain. People, they used to ask her what to use the Prophet to do inside the house. So usually the wives, they're the one who's telling us, because usually the men, when they're outside, everybody can see. So usually when he's outside, his companions, they are around him. They can understand what he's doing, and they can ask directly what he was doing to have the knowledge. But once he's inside the house, they have no clue what's happening inside the house. And sometimes they're asking because they care to take the best knowledge, what they can apply inside the house also with their family. So one of his wives, her name is, we'll come to it. Her name is Salama. Salama is the mother of Salama, but it's not her name directly. Her name is Salama. Usually we give the name of the child to the mother. So her nickname is Salama, mother of Salama. When the Prophet, be peace upon him, would leave his house, he would say, in the name of Allah, O Lord, I seek refuge. And you're going to find a lot this word, I seek refuge. And you will find it in different places, because God created good and bad. And he knows what he created. So he taught us different kind of verses, supplication, dua, to protect ourselves from the things unseen. Because there is things we can see, and there's things unseen. We cannot see it. And this is it's a mercy from God that we don't see, because if we're gonna see, we're gonna be we will not be able to take it. So the unseen things, which could be a devil, could be anything else, could be a genie, which you call it, could be things that you don't want to know about it. So God doesn't need to tell us what's going on in front of us, but we seek refuge from Him, because He can see it and He can protect us. So when most of the dua you will find, I seek refuge in you from slipping or being led astray. This is a very important kind of dua, which we need to say it every day, because every day we fall into issues. So we need really a guidance. And we cannot just say, I'm smart enough that I can guide myself. We can't be just smart with our own self. And we cannot just live with our own self. We need somebody to guide us. However, in even if it is in medication, in health wise, in any kind of thing, we need a guide in our life and the coming after. Because usually most of the kind of the supplication which we do is not only related to this life, it is related to the life after we die. Things also we need a guidance there. So he says, in the name of Allah, O Lord, I seek refuge in you from slipping or being led astray, from oppressing or being oppressed, and from acting ignorantly or being treated ignorantly. So this is one of the type of the dua by tongue. He says it. And there is another one similar to that. Salama, the wife of the Prophet, also reported or narrated from the Prophet what he used to say also. The Prophet ﷺ, or peace be upon him, never left my house without first raising his gaze, his eyes, his gaze to the sky and saying, O Allah, I seek refuge in you from going astray or being led astray, from slipping or being caused to slip, from oppressing or being oppressed, and from acting ignorantly or being treated ignorantly. I'm sorry for my English. So, as we said, today we just talk about, we explain small things so we can understand it more. So to explain that is, actually it is a sincere supplication from a humble heart, reflects a high level of a trust in Allah. This is a very important thing, and we need to rely on Him, and we need to have an acknowledgement of His power as one who grants benefit and harm. And usually what we tell sometimes the students or whomever who's not really much knowing the names of the God, because the God has 99 names, and he has also uh, qualities which nobody has it as a human. So if we understand the names and the translation of the names and what he does, we will choose, when we make a prayer, we choose the right name in the right situation. Like, for example, if he is the protector and we know he has a name of a protector, so we use the name, I refuge a protection from me, you are the protector. Or if I am sick, so I know he has a name is called Ash-Shafi. So we say that Ash-Shafi, 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 he's going to cure me. So we use his names according to the situation that I am in. And this needs a small knowledge. It's not very difficult. Learning one name every day, it could be a wonderful thing. One of the names yesterday we took is the mercy. He's the mercier. He has mercy on in overall to all his creatures, everything on this land, and he has a very specific kind of mercy, like Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. There is a difference between them. They look similar, but one of that is wider and the other one is more specific. So when we do this kind of a prayer inside of our heart, we need to have acknowledgement of what we say, and it has to come from the bottom of our heart. And He has the power, and He's going to protect us from any harm. The Prophet, be peace upon him, was constantly in a state of supplication to Allah in all situations. And you're going to see that with our journey. You will say, Amna, you have supplication in everything? I will tell you yes. Even if we enter to the toilet, we exit the house. So what we are learning today is the supplication when we exit from the house. And this is something we needed daily. And we have been taught even how to enter to the toilet and how to exit from the toilet. Because usually in any dirt areas, you will find harms. And when we start eating, which you already know, we say something. When we finish eating, we say something. In everything, when we go to sleep, we say something. And when we wake up, we say something. And even if we enter to the mosque, we say something. And we exit from the mosque, we say something. Everything has something. Because every day we need a protection. Every moment, every second, we need a protection. You don't know when it could happen. You don't know when anything could harm you. And sometimes people, they could say, I visited one girl today, which her mom was a little bit complaining about her situation. She said a beautiful thing. My mom, she does everything. She does the dua and the prayer, but at the same time, she doesn't have patience. So this girl, she entered to a situation in a way that she started to understand more. She wasn't understanding it till she started listening more and reading the things more closer and think of what she's reading and the benefit of it. So she said a beautiful thing. She said, "My mom, she wants, she does everything, and then she comes and tell me you do everything." She's telling her daughter, like, "You're doing the prayer, you're doing the dua, but still you're in problems." She said, "Mom, that's not the way how it works. Okay, that's not the way how it works. It needs patience, and you need to enjoy it, and saying it from the heart. You just say it and leave it to the God. You don't constantly like, now immediately I need the things to be done." I said, "You're correct." So I said that she said, "I think my mom, she needs really to enjoy what she reads. It's not that she needs to punish herself on what she reads." So here is the mistakes which had happened to most of the people. When they start reading, they want the immediate change. You can't change immediately. It's like the medication. When we medicate somebody is in a bad situation, gradually he will start changing. You cannot change in the same time. Okay? So in this hadith, or we call it hadith actually, whatever it is narrated from the Prophet or it has been said, it's kind of hadith, we call it, as I say. So the Prophet was, as I said, constantly, he is by himself constantly, he is in a state of supplication to Allah in all situations. Seriously, in all situations, including when leaving the house. This is one of it which we've already discussed now. So in this hadith, Salama, the wife of the Prophet, describes how the Prophet والسلام, would always lift his gaze towards the sky before leaving her house and recite the supplication. So the idea is, sometimes when in the bottom of our heart we want to do something and we want that thing to happen, usually what do? Always we lift our head to the sky. And why do we are lifting our head to the sky? Because we know that God, he's up there. We never look down. Okay, we can look down, but the idea if when sometimes it's naturally when we want to do any supplication, we raise our head up from the bottom of our heart, like, I need this, I need your help. So it's the feeling. And the problem of us, when we are in trouble, we just feel it when we are in trouble. Once we're outside the trouble, we don't feel nothing. Even the way how we say it, it becomes very dull. It doesn't have that vibes anymore. So here is where the believer needs to take care of those vibes. How to make it more live, how to make it more has that thing, a feeling. And this is what happens to us every day. It's not, it happens to me every day. Uh, 2 days I will be so okay into it, and then the other days I could be very dull. And this is where we need to work on ourselves. No, no, Amna, this is not working. You need to do something else to make it more revived. Why this happens? Why do we lose the vibes? Because usually we are entering to sins, or trying to waste our time in things that it doesn't add any value in our life. Sometimes, for example, when we are in a bad situation, we'll try to ignore it by watching a TV or watching a movie. This is exactly what happens to everyone. You bring your popcorn, you bring your drinks, and you start stuffing yourself like, I'm in sad, I'm in bad moods, I don't want to talk to no one. And you start watching. It is endless. And then you think, you feel yourself like you're gonna blast, like, I can't breathe anymore. Whether you start shouting, whether you start crying, but in the end, who did this to ourselves? It's us. It was our choice to do that. But if you look into the verses in the Quran, there is a small areas which it says, don't waste your time. Time is very small. It's very little. Use every time to do something useful. Take care of the people, encourage each other, have patience. So all the encouragement you will find it there. So when he used to say the supplication, when he exit the house, going back to our topic, oh Allah, I seek refuge in you, meaning I turn to you for a protection and seek your help from going astray or being led astray, asking not to fall into misguidance or lead others to astray, because a lot of people lead others to astray and they fall into a huge problems, maybe even financial, maybe faithful of the faith also. It's a big thing. Or maybe some people, they can drag others to drugs or drinking or doing other things, which we know in all the books that is not allowed to do that. From oppressing or being oppressed, seeking refuge from committing injustice or suffering from it, because usually if we do injustice, it will always come to us. We'll always feel that. We'll always feel that the thing in our heart. And usually the devil, to make you feel much better, okay, let us ignore it, let us add more crime. Okay? This is how it happens. Naturally, this is what it does. Once the devil can hunt somebody's heart, will always abuse it. And this person will abuse himself, and the devil will just keep laughing at him. In the judgment day, it will come and say, I didn't do anything. Did I touch you? I didn't touch you. I didn't ask you to do that. Everybody will start blaming the devil. So everybody is um, facing this issue. But it doesn't mean that I shall leave it. No, I can defeat it. And that's why we're asking refuge from Allah. Protect us, because we are weak as a human. However, how powerful, even if I have muscles, if I have a strong mind, I'm a president, for example, I have everything, but it doesn't mean that I own everything. I can just, I can die in a second. Anything, I could be killed, I could be abused, I could get sick in a blink. I could have an accident. From acting ignorantly or being treated ignorantly, asking protection from behaving with ignorance or being subjected to it by others or anything, even if there is a harm that Allah sees it in us, we ask him to protect us, and he does. And maybe sometimes the problems, when it comes, or the death or the issues or the sickness, when it comes ease, not with pain. It can just come and go. So some of these supplications were from the benefit of his followers. Also, they used to benefit, as the Prophet, be peace upon him, was um, always asking a protection from the God, to refuge from any of those situations. So this is actually this hadith, or this what we explained, highlights the importance of constantly turning ourselves to Allah in supplications. Supplication means dua, and relying on Him in all matters. All matters has to go to Him, and we sometimes need to be in a group which we help each other and sustain it, and and we sometimes understand there is problems, but we have to learn not to complain. We need to talk about it, but not to complain about it. And in Islam, I will just highlight this. For us, somebody getting us sick is a big reward, and we have to have a lot of patience in that. Like, I'm sick, this is happening to me. We are not supposed to do that in Islam. We shall say thank God for this. And usually, when this happen, is the God is removing our sins. So we need to look to the other side more than looking at the pain by itself. So when we look at the pain, we know it's okay. God is testing my patience if I'm able to handle it. And this is the beautiful thing about it. It could be annoying at the first, because this is what we think, and this is what the drama, and this is what we see on TV, and this is what the movie says to us how to act. But if you see the parents before, the grandmothers and the other family before, they used to take the pain, they used to hold it, they used to have patience. Okay, it's not what we see, it's not the trend. No, God is asking us to have patience in everything. We're supposed to be this person. And every patience we get, you get a reward from it. I'm not asking to let the person feels like he wants to kill himself inside his heart. No, I'm not asking the person to keep the pain in the heart. No, I'm asking to accept it. If we accept things smoothly, it will go with no matter or no issue. It will be like a water with a cold ice to the heart. This month I had the most difficult things, but I don't see difficulty. If anybody comes and sees it, they will say like, how did you manage doing that? You had 5 major issues. But the 5 major issues, because there is death, there is somebody who did an operation, there is losing things, assets, all right, losing even a position, a job. And the fifth one, to be honest, yeah, it's about financial. All of them, they are very important. So if those all 5 things happen in one month, it doesn't mean I will say that, oh, this month has something in it. No, this month is God is testing you, and whenever the test comes, it comes more bigger and wider, and He wants us to think about it, to learn from this, whatever, if it is a calamity, if it is a pain, or if it is a big thing that we do receive. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Everybody goes through this. All of us, we are equal, by the way, in pain. But how everybody's handling it in different ways. It's like the manager. Every manager has a different character. And the more who has more patience and more mercier and nicer, everybody will love him, even if they go through a lot of things. It's like the father in the house, which he loves his kids and he's taking care of the kids and having patience with them and being with them, and somebody who ignores it completely and trying to run away from the problems. This and this is different. They could have the same issues, but one is dealing with it, the other is not dealing with it. Dealing with the situation is much better. Accepting it is much better. Here is where Islam is asking us to have patience and not to complain a lot about the issues. And hopefully, we talk next week because our session has ended. We've said on each Saturday and Sunday, we do have lessons. And thank you very much for listening. And I hope that you've gained something from that. And so when we do this supplication, we do it from the bottom of the heart. And when we exit the house, I put it in the green color. This is the short one. If you need the other one, I will just paste it here as a text. Thank you very much. God bless you also. So again, in the name of God, I put my trust in God. There is no power, no strength except in God. It's a beautiful one. And this is even you can say it when you are in trouble. There is no power nor strength except the God. When you are completely defeated or you cannot do it or you are in a mess, you can say that. Thank you.